Black Suds.
We love them. Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Kazual Konvo, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Kazual Konvo, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on hidden, it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every A. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead. Keep all that irking shit down to a minimum, blockhead. Baby, I'm sorry if this got too hectic. I'm from the 410, I get aggressive. Just have to make sure that you get the message, dickhead. Hello. We have the conversations about life, current topics that affect communities, personal and business relationships. We have the casual convo so you don't have to have the tough one. Thank you for your time. Let's go! Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Kazual Konvo, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Kazual Konvo, baby, come down and just sit with me. I'm with Lil' Coco, we gon' part, nah. I just found my flow, I'm gon' ride, nah. I'm with Lil' Coco, she gon' vibe, nah. I just found that flow, I'm gon' ride, nah. I'm with Lil' CC, I'm with Lil' CC, I'm with Lil' CC, I'm with Lil' CC, You can't make that green, you can't come with me. I'm with Lil' CC, yeah, I'm with Lil' CC, yeah. I'm with Lil' CC, I'm with Lil' CC, I'm with Lil' CC, I'm with Lil' CC, You can't make that green, you can't come with me. I'm with Lil' CC, yeah, I'm with Lil' CC, yeah.
Hello, welcome to the Kazual Konvo show with me, Coco. I was just talking and was muted.
I saw you. I was
Good thing because I messed up. Anywho, welcome to the Kazual Konvo show with me, Coco, where we have conversations about topics that affects the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. Listen, we laugh, so I can mess up. It's all right. And I have with me,
Tajah. Hey.
So, you want me to say it?
No, I want you to say it.
I gotta say it?
Yeah, it was your idea.
Hey, so we agreed. We had a conversation, and I know everybody be so like, okay, she's by herself, this is that and the third. So we had an agreement that Miss Tajah, TT, will be pretty much full-time as my co-host. But at least 80 to 90% of the time, because you know.
Yes, 80 to 90% of the time I'll be cool.
She be booked and busy and all of that good stuff. So yeah, so that's that. You want to say anything before we start?
No, I'm excited. Let's get to it because we got a lot. It's a lot.
I didn't even know it was that. So today, first of all, this is number 40. Episode 40.
It don't feel like it. It's really been like 40 weeks since you've been doing this.
40 and
damn.
That's big. That's major. That's amazing. Thank you, Rich.
40 shows. Why can't I see the comments? What did he say?
Nothing. Anywho.
I can't see.
So we're gonna. Everybody has been like DMing me, calling me, mentioning, and then I've had conversations outside where everybody was like, every time we talk about relationships, they're like, oh, you should talk about this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. Mm-hmm. So I said, forget it. I'm gonna just do a whole series and knock it all out at one time. So that way nobody's like, can you say this? Can you talk about this? Can you talk about that?
I feel like everything
that got to do with relationships. So we're gonna call this Relationship September. Did you got a book?
I need a notepad. I gotta take notes.
Well, yeah, you're gonna take notes on this. So we're gonna start relationships off with dating and rebound. So rebound relationships, because that's like a form of dating. I didn't realize it was that much about.
Yeah, the rebounds are pretty deep, very deep.
After reading it, I felt kind of bad.
You had a few rebounds, Ma.
I think I've been. I mean, hey, we all been a rebound or had a rebound or this and stuff. You might not have known what you was, but you was it. That was your position, and you just didn't know. You was put in that position. Mm-hmm. So, what is considered a rebound relationship? Should we just go right into it, or should I ask you about your day?
You can get right into it.
You sure?
Yeah, just get straight into it. Because, like I said, when you
so
the timeline, I was like, wait a minute. I said, hold up. I said, oh, this is for rebounds? I said, where's the dating part? When I looked at
I'm going to tell you where this came from, though, before we even start. This came from a man. I'm going to say probably like a month or so ago. I forgot what show I did. Matter of fact, it was the self-awareness one. And I was asked the question, have I ever thought about doing a show on rebounds? And in my mind, I'm like, I said, what you going through? And it's when guys come to me with stuff like that, I definitely listen, because usually they don't want to hear about that kind of stuff. So I said, I'm gonna do it. And he was like, all right. And I've been trying to think about how to do it. And then I kept getting messages about different type of relationship stuff. I said, game on. Call my bluff. So now we're here.
Here we go.
So a rebound pretty much is considered when someone who just recently had a breakup and gets involved with someone else despite not being emotionally healed from the breakup.
Yeah, that's what it is. Why you look at me like that?
Because I thought that was called baggage. I didn't know that was rebound.
No, that's not. No, baggage is when you carrying on that unhealed relationship. But a rebound is when you deal with somebody while you're unhealed. Does that make sense?
Ain't it the same thing?
No.
Can we revisit that question when they come back? Because it's the reason why. Because I had to do the research on the local Google.
Okay.
So, all right, question for you. Do you think people realize they are either the person that was approached as the rebound, or they were the person who got involved or approached someone as a rebound?
What I feel like some people do it unintentionally, mm-hmm. But I feel like there are also some people that do it on purpose. Let me explain. So what I feel like some people do jump out of a relationship and like they might genuinely start talking to somebody thinking like, oh, forget that other person. I'm done with them. That is what it is. But I feel like some people intentionally are like, I need somebody else to get over this person. Does that make sense?
No. Well, me now, I'm going to say no. But me back in the day, I would have probably been like, yep.
Like, I truly in my heart believe that some people unintentionally rebound.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, do you think people do it purposely or unintentionally?
I'm kind of in the middle with that one, because I feel like it's kind of in the middle. Like some people do, but some people don't. Like you can tell when somebody did.
How?
Because they will openly say like, "Oh, I'm dealing with this person," to get over this person, or this person helped me get over this person.
Okay. But how you know?
I don't know.
That's if that person never says anything.
Google is for.
Like, okay, you know how some people, I'm probably, a lot of women get mad. You know, we as women, when we go through a breakup or deal with somebody, you have an argument, what you do, whatever. And then next thing you know, you call your home, we going out.
We outside.
You want to put on the most skimpiest, whatever thing you know what I mean? You want to be hot to try and go out here in these good streets. And the intention of F him, I'm going to get somebody else. And
see, and that's what I mean. They intentionally are doing it. They're intentionally rebounding. But is it rebounding more so dating, not just hooking up, or is it both?
I look at rebounds as you looking for a replacement for what you had.
Good to know.
You don't have it. You said good to know. Look, let me tell you something. I remember back in my day, not currently, not no more. Let me be clear. Back in my days, I'm gonna say my younger days, like 5 years ago. I was probably like, don't look like that. Shoot, you pissed me off. Let me get and don't go nowhere. Take some pictures, post them. Hey, you thinking I'm out? But I don't do that no more. I'm grown now. Anywho, so
no more. She mature.
I'm a to it. So I feel
Patty. That's the side comments for me.
I think people do rebounds because they try to replace the person that they broke up with, thinking they're gonna find that person in somebody else. You get what I'm saying? Or if you're not completely over it, so you do things to try to get them to feel like how you feel or hurt the way that you hurt. And it don't work because usually it's your fault or something like that, or you did something stupid, or it's just over. And I think some people don't understand when it's over to go on with your life. You can't bring somebody else into it. And I feel like that's what for me, that's what a rebound is. You brought me into your unstable emotional drama. Because usually that's what that is when people rebound. And we won't get into that.
In the second half or the first half?
Both of them. Yeah, I done had a couple shots. Let's say we gonna get it. Both of them. But
let me write this thing.
Do you think people know when they you think people know when they a rebound?
Oh, people definitely don't know when they're the rebound.
Oh, I'm just stupid because I don't be knowing. I knew when I started looking up this stuff.
Yeah, when you look it up, then you know you're a rebound. But when you're in the situation, you just thinking like, all right, well, I got my chance. Like, you know, like you don't know if that person that you'd have made the rebound and just got out of a relationship themselves or not. So it's like they probably just like, well, let's just go for the ride. I don't think people know when they're a rebound.
Go for the ride, but at least let me know. I think sometimes I think it's unintentional. Only because I don't think some people understand that they're using other people and their situation affects other people, whether it's intentional or not. Only because if I break up with somebody and I know I'm not over them and I know I got these emotions and these feelings and I go out here and I latch on to somebody, I done brought you into my unstable emotions. You feel me? Like,
yeah, but a lot of people.
I feel like you're not done with this situation because if this situation come back while you dealing with me, you gonna go back to that situation because that's where your feelings are.
Well, then they should know they're a rebound if they know that the other person is dealing with the person they were dealing with before. Then they know they're a rebound.
I ain't know.
You
know the signs now, though.
You should have saw the signs.
Research. I know the signs.
People now
signs now.
Toxic, man.
Okay, so for those who don't know, how you know that you're the rebound person. Because this is when I started being like, I've been a rebound quite a few times. I feel bad for myself. Like, you ain't know this?
I know I've been a rebound. I know I have been.
I'm not going to hear about that because it's going to turn real quickly and then I'm going to go look for somebody.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. That's a bad story.
Moving right along, swiftly and professionally. So it says, one, they just got out of a relationship recently. My question to you, I do have a red flag though. Well, you know how when you meet somebody and then you get to know them and it's like, and they ask you when was that last relationship. If you tell me within the last 6 months, my radar go off.
Oh yeah, that's a red flag for me. Yeah. I don't like it. Like as soon as you be like, oh yeah, I broke up with whoever like about 3 months ago, I be like, okay, all right. Right, that's a ding. Like that's exactly what happened. Ding.
Especially if y'all got kids.
That's even worse. It's even worse.
That's drama filled all day. Then
every day.
All right. I had experienced this. I'm gonna say probably I don't even want to name no names. All right. Interesting story to bring me into the other part of how you should know you are the rebound. And this is when I felt completely idiotic. And I'm smart enough and well, I'm educated and I feel like I got common sense that I should have knew. Yeah.
I want to hear him. I read him, but I want to hear him. I want to hear you say him to people.
I should have knew after reading this next one is you in a rebound relationship when the person they talk about their ex all the time or they avoid talking about them completely. Let me tell you, many moons ago. You ready? I met somebody and you know how somebody be like, I don't deal with them no more. Da, 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 da. They paint this picture of the ex. So the first time you like, damn, they did that, and this is that. We as women, we kind of read between the lines, but at the same time, we like, damn, she fucked up because we might know some messed up people who do that type of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But then I'm noticing after on my local Google, I said he did talk about her all the time, and it was always a reason why he had to call. Right?
Not always a reason he had to call.
But it was like every time you turned around, he would talk about and you know me, because I think I try to help everybody decipher their feelings or what's going on. I think
you try to be too understanding.
I'm too understanding?
You try to be too understanding. I wouldn't even call that as help.
You with that, explain that. How am I too understanding? I know I try to put myself in the other person's shoes, which I think a lot of people don't do, because I try to think outside the box of my own thinking, which allows me to see things from another perspective, whereas though I'm not internalizing and I can actually be honest about, okay, I can see that point of view.
I would say you do that now. I would say you do that now. But what I'm saying is when you just said that, what did you just say? How did you explain it? You say you try to help. I would say that's you trying to be too understanding. Because if somebody is talking about their ex constantly, and you're just like, oh, for real, they did that? Oh my goodness. That's not you helping. That's you like, oh my goodness, I understand why you so mad.
No, but I'm about to get into that. So it was like, it wasn't just the talking. It would be like, how you chilling, and nice little dinner, whatever. Getting a bonding time. Y'all getting to know each other, and then all of a sudden, randomly, the ex come up or something. Everything just reminds you of the ex. So I'm like, well, what do you feel? How do you feel?
Not you hating your therapist voice. Like, how does that make you?
Yes. Like, is there something you want to say? And then it'll go into the, well, da-da-da-da-da, and then I got to hear all the stories. So by then I had a couple of these. And then I'm like, you want to go get back with her? You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck? Because after listening, I don't know about nobody else, but if I, especially depending on what I'm saying, especially with the tequila. Now, wine, I'm a little alleviated. Now, if I had some tequila in my cup, ding, 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 ding. You want me to call her? Because I think y'all can work this out. You sound like you miss her. Then I get cussed out. Because I didn't say.
And that should have been another red flag for you. Why didn't you see that?
What?
If you saying like, oh, so what you want to be like? Obviously, you noticed something was wrong when you was like, oh, well, do you miss her? And if you would have been, and if that's causes a problem, that's a whole nother red flag. I'm counting red flags like crazy over here. I got like 5 lines.
I said this was years ago. I'm telling the story how I found out that I realized I've been the rebound person.
Keep going. I'm listening.
I'm telling this is the beginning though. I didn't realize in the middle, you know how like people get in a breakup and then they be like, some people they still want to express some things or something might have been going on, right? So I'm like, okay, all right, well, you think y'all gonna get back together? Or because it's still fresh. I can walk away. You get what I mean? And like, oh, F her, da 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 da, she this then third, da 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 da, and I'm like, oh wow, she don't. I'm like, what you do? And then of course it was y'all women always stick up for the woman like the woman can't do that. Da, 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 da. And I said,
I gotta be all that.
So I'm like, I hear your side, but
who this was?
Like, what did you do? But in all reality, I'm hearing the issues. I'm not realizing you bitter. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you miss Shorty. And after doing the research, I'm like, the fuck? I was a rebound all that time? I ain't even know.
Yeah.
And then it was like, you ain't had to co-sign it that quickly. Like,
I'm taking notes.
So anyway, to go on, I didn't realize I just felt like maybe, okay, he's going into how he feels. This may work. I don't meet too many of them. I meet just a hard type, you know what I mean? So he just was and it's like we couldn't have too many of these because she would come up. And then I started having too many of these. Now depending if it
I got a question. So did she only come up when you was having some of those? Or was it when it was all the time? It wasn't when you was having one of them?
No, I could be at work and then it would be, you know how somebody you might call just to, how your day going? Da, 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 da.
And the next thing you asking how your day was, I got into it with.
And I'm like, you talk to him?
I have questions now. I got a lot of questions. So did they have kids together?
Yes.
So they had kids.
See, you know me. I'm never the person to say don't talk to somebody when there's children involved. You have to have that relationship. You get what I mean?
Have to have a conversation.
I'm right with that. I cannot deal with nobody who don't fool with their kids. I'm going to always encourage and step to the side when children are involved. So in my mind, I'm looking at it like, okay, he's saying this over, that he can't stand this is then third. Becky, let me, for all the listeners, listen, that was back in the day though, not today. Mm-hmm. This was long time. We recapping a situation from a long time ago.
Okay, I'm just trying to put pieces together. I'm just listening. Okay, go ahead.
I'm being open and honest and sharing how I can relate to this topic. So, they was together for a long time. Make a long story short, they had kids, and it just was always something. And then I think I did something, you know, my mouth, especially back then before I started meditating and stuff like that. I said things like,
you have calmed down a lot. I'm very proud.
I've matured.
You have matured. Yes, you have.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it became like, what? And then it started like, that's why I don't mess with her. What? I said, well, you can go back and mess with her. You don't have to be
You
on
don't
my
have to be here.
so it was always that. So as I'm looking up the stuff on the local, Google about rebounds, I said, damn, this was a real thing. Because in my mind, I thought rebounds was something that we just made up, right? But it's a real thing, and it was like the whole.
It's honestly like that person taking one for the team, for real, for real.
Yeah, so I'm like, so again, after it depends. Like I said, depends what it was. I'm like, well, do you want to go back, try to figure this out? Because it sounds like y'all got some underlying issues that wasn't quite figured out. It's
right.
still something lingering going on. And he was like, no. And, that's where he wanted to be. I'm like, you sure? I got to make sure you sure. You sure? And then I said, okay. He's like, no. Of course, we always argue about the comparison, right? Which we're going to get to later.
I was about to say, what comparisons?
We're going to get to that when they come out. But just say the comparisons of me to her to whatever the situation was going on. So to make a long story short, we was off and on for a long time because of certain things that couldn't be done. But yeah, they was getting back together. I was walking away. They was getting back together. I was going about my business. The next thing friends, family, whatever. Call it.
Right.
So that was that. To make a long story short, I didn't realize I was in a rebound situation at the time. I just thought I was with somebody that was emotionally unstable. That wasn't the case. I was the replacement. Which now I feel like, do I really know my fucking worth?
Well, now you do because you matured. So now you know your worth. But back then, no, you did not. No, you didn't. I'm sorry.
No, you ain't.
After hearing that story, I feel like the people.
Look, every time I read, how do you know you in a rebound relationship? I was like, I need a couple of them. And then, so that was one. Was it talking about the ex? Let me tell you something. First of all, let me clear something up real quick about this whole ex thing. Me personally, I don't want to know because that was before me, right? The only way I want to know is if there are children involved, and if we get to talking and it's going a long ways. First of all, I don't want to meet your kids until we figure out we're gonna be together. That's number one. Because I get attached to children, I get attached to people. I be wanting to be Mother Teresa to everybody, right? So I'm not doing all of that. So my whole thing is, if you know this thing what it's gonna be, leave me alone. But then it's like I don't ask no questions. Now, if you have children, I do ask about the ex because I need to know if you have a relationship. Only because I'm big on, if you have children, you can't deal with me if you don't deal with your children. Okay? That's number one.
Right.
Number two, I also need to see how you talk to the baby mother, the respect level that you have, because that also will show how you respect me. How you respect and honor women, especially regardless of how y'all communicate. But even if it's rocky, I'm going to encourage communication for the sake of the child, co-parenting. I'm going to offer resources. That's just me. You get what I mean? So it's steps to this. But if you comparing me to her, that's a problem. But if it's always coming up, honestly, after that particular person, there was always a red flag with me as far as talking about exes and stuff like that. Now, I don't volunteer. I'm lying. I do. It's only one time I volunteer because I'm close. I'm cool with exes. You get what I mean? Like, I'm friends with people. Not to say that we still deal with each other. That's done. You get me? It didn't work. That's cool.
Right.
But it took a lot to get into a place. But I'm actually really close to one of them. They're like this. So I do let people know. So if this
right,
is issue, you know, if that's going to be an issue, you need to let me know now, because at the end of the day, it's nothing there romantically, but on a friendship level and on a loyalty level, I know I can count on this person, and we respect each other in that form. And I'm gonna always be upfront and honest. Okay, fine. Everybody.
Do you find so now? Do you find a lot of issues with that?
Off and on, yes. And I get it, but see, this is the thing. My thing is trust my actions, and at the same time, this person is not going to interfere in nothing I got going on. I'm only saying that because if anybody asks about, oh yeah, we not with each other, but we cool now. But if I'm with somebody, this is not like this person call me every day. It's not like we talk every day. It's not like we hang out every day. We don't. We just cool. It's an understanding. Not saying that he called me every day or anything like that, but when he need advice or because there's been times where I listen. He been there, no hesitation, even in the relationship. It's an understand because we friends. You get what I mean?
Exactly.
And I treat him like any other friend that I have. I'm going to be the same way. And if I think people don't pay attention to the pattern of friendships either. If you see how I'm with my friends, I'm the same way with this person.
Right.
I'm one way. I don't like gray areas. You get what I mean? So if there's a gray area, there's a problem. Cause it's either here, there. You can ask me anything. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because if you find out, I ain't got time for all of that. Let me just tell you what it is right now. And then usually it's oh, that's fine. I don't mention nothing else about it because I don't talk to the person like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you happen to come around, like let's say you had something for Della, you feel me? And this person
right
there, that don't mean you can't come. He might bring somebody. I don't know. You get what I mean? But I'm not tripping off of that. And neither should nobody else trip off of that. It is what it is. He going to respect what's going on over here. We have a friendship. That's different. The same way if I meet somebody and they say they cool with their ex, I expect that because I'm cool with mine. I know it ain't nothing else going on.
Right.
I don't think I have an ex that's I'm not cool with. Maybe.
But you deal with somebody that's friends with their ex. Do you pay attention to the actions when it comes to that friendship? Like, are you like,
nope.
You know what I mean? Like like, let me make sure first. You just trust you trust it.
Now, no. Probably before I found peace within myself. Yes. Only because of this. I've learned to pay attention to how a person treats me when we together. One thing I learned, if you being messy and doing whatever you doing, it's gonna come to light. I ain't gotta look for it. I don't look for anything. I worry about what you do when you with me, how you treat me.
Right.
And if I answer the phone when I ain't with you, and how I carry myself when I'm not with you, because if I'm dealing with somebody that I'm getting to know, I'm gonna respect those boundaries. I believe in, and that's where I'm big on boundaries. There's always boundary lines. So I'm not worried about that because my expectations, which I state in the beginning of what I expect for you to treat me the same way in my face, behind my back.
So my question to you is, have you had a rebound? Not if you've been a rebound, but have you had a rebound?
Define your version of rebound.
There's not no. We talk about the Google definition of a rebound.
According to the Google definition, no.
So
because I really didn't get involved. No, because I really didn't get involved with anybody until I was emotionally. And I found peace in myself where I knew I was ready to move on. And that's why I always
every time.
I'm gonna go off topic just a little bit to clarify that. It's a difference in people misconstrue love, being in love, being in strong light. 3 different things. Okay? So I was in love with that person. I couldn't move on. Because in my mind, we might get back together. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't ready. And I didn't, because I was still, you get what I'm saying? So I really literally, and I realized, it's over. This is the third. I didn't want to be with nobody. So for me, it was a little different. I didn't get into relationships, lead people on. Did I do me? Yes. It's the difference. When you single, you single. I'm open and honest. I am not fucking with you like that. This is what it is. Go ahead about your business. You get what I'm saying? But on the other hand, when it came to people gravitating to me or wanting more, I'm not ready for that. And I cut it off. So that's the honesty that I had within myself.
So would you say that you unintentionally had a rebound?
No.
You wouldn't think that that's unintentionally having a rebound if they caught feelings.
I'm telling you up front.
You told them up front, but they still caught feelings for you. You wouldn't say that's unintentionally having a rebound?
That's on you. That's on you. That's on you. Because I told you what it was. Now, whether you choose to listen, and believe me, you chose to still deal with me on those terms, knowing what I didn't want and what I wasn't ready for, and just what I needed at that time. So I never let anybody on because I was. One thing Dale taught me was treat people how you wanted to be treated. I always want somebody to be upfront with me, right?
Right.
I pride myself on that. So if I know I'm not ready for something serious, if I know I'm not looking for nothing, no, that's not. I'm looking for this, but I'm not looking for that. The average man in the beginning, shit, I with me. You know what I mean? But then it comes, you're answering the motherfucking phone. No, I'm not. I answer on the phone. Today. I don't have COVID. I'll go it up. It's like, sorry. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I'm saying. If you up front in the beginning, I don't think that's a rebounding because I'm telling you where I am. I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm not looking for a dude to be calling me all the time. Listen, call me periodically at that time.
So was that just your distraction?
And what had happened?
Was that just your distraction? You done took a sip.
I be bored. I do shit when I'm bored. That's why I stay busy. I make bad decisions when I'm bored. I know that about me.
So how would you properly heal from a relationship? Like just you personally. How did you like what was your healing process?
Is this the interview?
I mean, you told the story, so I just kept it going. I was intrigued.
I feel like I'm being interrogated right now. This is not about me. Okay, so you said
because I feel like
how did I?
In my opinion,
my being in love with somebody.
Before you answer that,
you can't just move on, and it's not easy when you're in love. Being in love and loving someone is two totally different things. That's something that you don't experience with everybody. So it's not something that you can just move on from. I think healing for me was understanding that I needed healing. Because in the beginning, I didn't know. I just know I didn't want to be with nobody, which was a good thing.
Right.
Of understanding myself. But actual healing and closure was, I had to understand I wasn't going to get closure from them. Did it take a while? Yes, it did. It took a long time. I'm talking years. But I had to understand me. And I started going out with me, meaning I would go out to eat by myself. I took myself on dates. I did things by myself. At first it was weird. And then eventually I started having fun. Like, sure, I can't wait to go back because I was meeting different people. I was communicating. People come up to you when you by yourself. Not saying in a way trying to holler at you or nothing, just random conversations. And then you realize,
just a conversation.
You're a dope person.
Because you honestly don't realize how many people actually go out by themselves until you go out by yourself. And then you meet those people that's out by themselves too. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm just out having a drink too. Just, after work or something. But you want to know my honest opinion?
What?
You want to know my opinion?
What?
You unintentionally had rebounds.
I did.
Yes, absolutely,
Explain.
completely. Okay, even though you've told them up front what it was or what it wasn't, as the process went along, 9 times out of 10, you started showing something else to them that they saw differently than what you was already offering on the table.
No, because you the
So
one that used to get. No, I'm gonna tell you. No, I'm gonna answer your question because I'm gonna tell you the problem that I used to have.
that wasn't a
And
question. That was my opinion.
I mean, I get your opinion, but I'm gonna tell you where your opinion was wrong because I didn't communicate. I didn't. I didn't show emotion. People, and that's even to this day, and I got to check myself. People feel like I don't have feelings or I don't have emotions because I've learned I block them up. And that was why. That was that period in my life. There's no way you could think otherwise because I didn't show you that. I told you and I showed you. Why are you calling me right now? I'm busy. And I wasn't even doing that. But continue.
I honestly, in my beautiful heart, I believe you unintentionally. That's why I said it was unintentional. You unintentionally had a rebound because of the simple fact, even though you may believe in your heart and your mind and your soul that you were showing and telling one thing, they were seeing and getting another thing. And that's why they were like, oh, why is she not calling my phone? What's going on with her? Why is she acting different?
I be at work. I don't know.
Unintentionally having rebounds. Check you out.
Be right. I don't know. But question for you, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Rebound Identifier. Do you think
I wouldn't say identifier. I would just say.
all right, so I'm gonna piggyback off of something before I get to the next question. Um, you might be right because they say people who looking for rebounds don't open up emotionally, and the time spent surfaces around intimacy or sexually based.
Mm-hmm.
Their limitations. Is that what you're referring to?
Oh wait, say it one more time.
Because they say a rebound relationship or people seeking rebound relationships sometimes do not show emotion or the time spent is just based off of sex or intimacy, whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
however you want to label it, if you want to be sophisticated, um, is a rebound. Is that what you're trying to imply about me?
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, okay,
Yes.
and I guess you might
Completely.
correct. Okay, I probably did that for maybe like a year. I might have. I might have did that for a
What?
year. Okay, but do you have? Okay, since you trying to pinpoint my life, so do you think a rebound can feel like a person really loves you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because like you said a rebound is like you don't show like you don't show emotion, but like the relationship is based off of something sexual or intimacy, however you want to put it. A lot of people find intimacy in different ways. So if you're hanging out
Explain.
with somebody and you're showing, okay, so for a lot of, so I know for some people, intimacy could just be basic cuddling or just spending time. So if you're just spending that time, they could be thinking like, oh, that's their type of intimacy. That's something that they like. So you're giving them what they like, but you're thinking like, oh, I'm just here to be here, honestly.
I think people misconstrue love and like. That's a to me that's a fine line
Hey, love and
to
lust?
straddle. Huh?
You mean
Only
love and
because
lust?
even
Two different things.
love, lust, and like are very thin lines. I
Oh,
put
you said
lust and
like.
like
Okay.
I put lust and like in the same thing. Love is different.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like people misconstrue all of it and mistake
All
it
of it.
for I love this person. No, you don't. You really like them or her a lot, right? So I feel like the rebound person is if you was with somebody for a long period of time, right? And then all of a sudden y'all break up, whatever. You look, sometimes people tend to look for what they miss, the security of having somebody there. I call them, I don't have COVID.
You was smoking.
I know I need a drink. I call them people who stop laughing. People who like can't be alone. So they look for the completion and the security of having somebody there and other people. So even when they break up with somebody, they gotta hurry up and get somebody else because they can't fathom being alone.
I can honestly say I was like that at one period in time. I can definitely say that.
Would you like to elaborate or no? I mean, it's okay if you don't.
I mean, I don't mind. So basically,
you was all in my business.
You was telling it.
I was.
No, like, but I would say, like, from the time when I first had, like, my very first job up until I broke up with my last boyfriend, I would say that I just felt like I shouldn't be alone. Like, I did not want to be alone whatsoever. Like, I didn't feel like I was meant to be single. So it was like relationship. It was just, I wouldn't even call them relationships at this point. After reading your timeline, I would call them situationships.
My timeline, I ain't got nothing to do with you. Look, let me before you continue, let me explain something to you. Everybody is different. Everybody feels different. Everybody thinks different. Everybody maneuvers different. Every situation is not the same. Every relationship is not the same. That's why I pride myself on not getting into other people's. Like, if you come to me and talk to me, I don't have an opinion. Even if I give one, don't listen to me. Only because your way of thinking and how that person treats you may have been different from anything that I experienced. I don't have an opinion. Mm-hmm. And there's still boundaries and lines that have to be crossed, that have to be drawn on that. Because people tend to look at other people's relationships and set those boundaries according to other people and not based on who they're dealing with and getting to know the person. So I think sometimes when people are rebounds, it's not that they got to know the person, they got to like having a person around because they were used to having somebody around and they don't know how to be by
normal. What's the word for it? Like it's like the normalcy. So it's like you just get used to it. And it's like once you get out of it, it's like I don't want to get out of that cycle. So it's like, of course, you're going to be like, well, I just need to hurry up and find somebody else. That's why I said I feel like some people do it unintentionally and some people do it intentionally. Like when you're doing something like that, like, oh, well, I just can't be alone. Like now that they done left me, who else going to cuddle with me? And then now you finding that person, you finding somebody and you done talked to them for about 3 weeks and you're like, oh my gosh, we have so much in common. We together. That's a rebound.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I gotta get past the representative. Who are you really?
I gotta get past all them dumb questions. What's your favorite color?
People still ask that?
Yes, they still do that. It's annoying.
They're not serious. So it's like when people, you ever see people fall real quick?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like soon as you meet them 48 hours later, they're like, oh, we together. They referring to you as the girlfriend, the or you referring to him as my husband, and this is that and third, and it's like it's been like 2 days.
I don't like that. Like as soon as you start talking, don't call me baby.
Definitely the rebound is seeking a rebound.
The biggest red flag is as soon as they start saying, hey babe, who is bae? I'm Tajah. Like, Tajah. I don't know who Bay is. Right, Rich.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like, who is baby girl? You got like, who is that?
Wait a minute, hold up.
What you all happy about over there? They get too comfortable too fast, Rich. Too comfortable too fast.
Hold on.
Not her leaving me. It's a slight intermission. And she couldn't wait 9 minutes. 9 minutes.
It's all good. Let's pick up where y'all was left off.
Right. But Rich, you get what I'm saying?
Rebound?
Yes. I feel like that's one of the biggest red flags to me. As soon as they start saying like, hey, babe, or baby, whatever it is, I feel like that's an automatic red flag. I'm a rebound for you.
Dang. I mean, I think in a sense we all can be kind of like rebounds. Because like, all coming, like when we meet somebody new, they had to have a relationship before us.
Yeah, but you can, it's like,
What is
I
it?
feel like now there's signs. Like you can definitely tell nowadays, like when you're a rebound, because a lot of people, as soon as they're single, like as soon as they break up with whomever they were with, they post on whatever it is, like, I'm single. What's up? And it's like, dang, wasn't you just in a relationship 2 hours ago? You just posted whatever the name was. And now you looking for another, what's his name?
So what you think is
Right.
safe to say people who are seeking a rebound, they move instantly to label you as girlfriend or to say we're in a relationship.
I feel like nowadays it's not so quick to say like, now we're in a relationship. I feel like they're just quick to like give you some sort of title. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
explain that for me.
Because some people, they don't just be like, oh, will you be my girlfriend no more? Some people just think like, oh, we've been talking for a long time. Oh yeah, that's mine.
What's a long time considered? I think the time frame
It's different for everybody.
should be considered.
Understood.
Some people, I've heard the concept of I know time is of the essence, but then some people say there's no time limit on certain things, right?
Right.
I get that, but I do believe there should be some limitation set of, okay, we met Tuesday, Thursday. It's no way I know everything about you, or not saying everything because you never know everything about a person.
But know
So
you
enough
enough
to
to
make a
feel
decision that we gonna move to this next level. I'm getting ready. You know, I could be batshit crazy. Excuse my French. You don't even know that yet.
Right.
I don't know that yet. You get what I'm saying? Like, at what point is it looked at or reinvented? But because you want the security of being with someone, you're quick to label this relationship, so to speak.
Thin line between love and hate.
Huh?
It's a thin line between love and hate.
Facts.
Definitely. Very thin.
Facts. Very much facts. You ever think when people, this gonna carry us into the next phase. I know we got 5 minutes, but I'm gonna ask a quick question. You ever meet somebody and they got so many ill feelings and they set out to make their ex look like the bad person?
Completely. Yes.
And it's like they so fixated on their ex. They talk about them. It's one thing to talk about your ex, as in you can sound like they missed this motherfucker. But then it's when it's like, you right? It's like they're trying to convince themselves of hatred towards the person. What do you think about that?
That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing anybody could do.
Wow.
Like, I could personally say it's happened to me. Like, somebody has made me seem like I was this terrible person. I can definitely say that. So it's like, I know how that feels. But I just feel like that's just, I don't even know how to really explain it, honestly. Because it's just like, because at that, I feel like at that point, it's like you're trying to prove something to yourself. I guess it, like, because if you're trying to make this person seem so ill-willed, it's like you're trying to prove to yourself that you're like this person that does no wrong or something. Like it was all of them and you had no part in anything. So it's like at that point, it's like you're not ready for anything next because you haven't even started a process of healing within yourself because you have to at least recognize where you were at fault. But if you're not recognizing where you were at fault, then what was the point? Then what's the point? What's the point of even talking about it?
Do you think it's them trying to convince themselves that it's over or why I don't need to think about this person, but they don't realize they're
why they shouldn't think about that person
that onto you, so to speak.
I feel like they're trying to prove to themselves of why they shouldn't be thinking about that person, but they're also trying to prove to the person that they're dealing with that they're this perfect angel.
I don't think they're trying to project an angel. I think they're trying to project, I'm over it. I don't have no feelings. But underlining, there are so many feelings there.
I don't know how to explain.
You don't even understand. You're making the other person uncomfortable. I know we got 3 minutes. From my experience, it's like if I sit and I'm trying to get to know somebody, especially if it's in the beginning, and you're constantly talking about your ex, especially whether it's negative, positive. In my mind, I'm like, you got anything for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, where the questions of I can't get to know you because now I feel like
that makes me think. What would you say about me then?
What?
Like I feel like if somebody like constantly trying to make their ex seem like to be like this terrible person, then what would you say about me?
They wouldn't say nothing about you. That you ain't the factor because you're the rebound.
Exactly, but I'm not the factor.
Yeah, I feel like the rebound is right now. I feel like the rebound is who people really want, but they can't be with because the other person may have cut it off for whatever reasons. But that's who they want. You're just a standby, and with their hopes of this person is going to wake up and realize they the person of their dreams, and then they can cut you off, but you just a temporary, so they won't be alone. But when we come back from the break, I'm gonna get into lonely versus being alone versus being lonely.
That's a huge difference.
Right, and then we're gonna go into the other stuff. So we'll be back to the Casual Konvo Show with me, Coco. We are back for the second half with Tajah, Tita, whatever you want to call her, TT. She is back with me. We are discussing. Oh, she left. Oh, I'm sorry. Said it disconnected. We are discussing. Yes. We're discussing dating and rebounds. So I know, I'm sorry, we touched on a lot of things like how do you know you're a rebound and things like that. So we need to touch back on why, like how is it that you come about knowing, and I think it takes us back into where we left off. And we kind of left off on like how do you know when you are or when you aren't the person who rebound, or do you intentionally know? I know she accused me of knowing and I didn't know. But that's okay. One thing that I did want to touch on was the disconnect one thing I think people don't realize when they are a rebound or when they're pursuing someone to be a rebound is the disconnect. There's always like a disconnect somewhere of emotions and things like that, and it doesn't work. And people don't get that when you don't feel a connection, that it's just it gets really weird, and you always feel like something's missing, or there's a big piece that's not there. So in the event where you're trying to connect with somebody and you notice it's something off, or there's a connection that's not there, that's the connection that's not conducive for where it is that you want to go. I think in my mind, I feel like some people look at bringing up how they feel as being confrontational. I don't think it's being confrontational. I think it's you being real with you being real with what you feel, what you're looking for, what you want. But at the same time, I think some people don't get it as to how they should feel or what you feel, because the only thing they see is their feelings. But whenever you feel like there's an empty space somewhere or something don't feel right, trust your feelings. And I know we as women, and I'm quite sure some men be on the trust your gut thing. I'm a firm believer in that. Sometimes you got to go with your first intuition, how you feel, how that person makes you feel. If you feel like something's missing, something's not being said, or sometimes you get that feeling of the pretense of why they're with you is off. Trust that offness, because 9 times out of 10, you probably somebody to fill a void until they either think that person is coming back or they want to figure out what it is they want to do. Truthfully and honestly, that's just how I feel about the situation. So if it feels weird and not right, that's something that you should probably question. And then you also have like the bitterness.
Why you should question that?
Question what? The weirdness that you feel?
Yeah, like why you should question it?
Because if I'm trying to connect with you on a way of like, you know how when you meet somebody and there's the first question you ask, what are you looking for, right? And the person tells you straight up, and it may seem like you both are looking for the same things, but when you're trying to connect with the person, they may feel distant where you feel like you're giving your all, but they're not giving their all. Like they're somewhere else emotionally and mentally, right?
Right.
So when you ignore those signs and them signs, later on down the line, it's like, damn, I seen it, but I didn't act on it.
Right.
I know I've been there several times where I tried to ignore signs, give people the benefit of the doubt when I should have focused and understood what my intuition was telling me. So usually
but sometimes it takes time to really get to know the person too, because in some cases, some people are just not emotional, and they might be physically emotional.
Mm-hmm.
They might like somebody was to bother you, they'll be there for you no matter what, but they're not like the lovey-dovey type.
Mm-hmm.
Not all up on you, but that does not mean that they don't love you, they don't care about you. That's just how they're trained to show love. And sometimes people will jump, especially I'm gonna say more women than men.
Mm-hmm.
Women need that. Women need that
No.
affect. Most women, most not all, but most women need that extra affection.
Right.
Want to know, they want the reassurance, and a lot of times.
As the 1%, can I interject?
Go ahead.
Because I was that woman who wasn't emotional. It wasn't that I was bitter. It wasn't that I was looking for something in somebody else. However, I do believe you are correct in getting to know someone. That's why we said when it comes to a rebound, people rushing to be like, oh, we together, you mine. You get what I mean? It's an underlying motive, usually with people who seek in a rebound. Whether they know it or not, it's there. when it's that weirdness, like you feel like somebody's moving too fast or it's an up and down situation, you know, but you don't pay attention to what the person is expressing about themselves or their actions. Me being a person who has not been always and still to this day, relationship wise, emotionally, some people may be like, there's a disconnect. However, I got to feel a person out to see if I can fully let my guard down and be vulnerable. Right. I'm learning to be more vulnerable. But that, again, that involves getting to know the person that you trying to deal with, right?
But like you said, being the 1%, a lot of people ain't gonna understand that nature of not being emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like
it takes communication.
Yeah. So a lot of people get that because a lot of people will take you not being as emotional or as affectionate as you don't really care about them, and it's the complete opposite. You know, you might be the most loving person inside, but I guess what they feel is, I guess, caring and loving is more like what they're used to feeling, not somebody that's not just completely not emotional. You see what I'm saying? Like it can kind of like if you don't understand that, or you don't understand that person and why they're like that, it could kind of mess your head up. It could kind of mess up the relationship a lot too.
But it also goes with communication. Just to clear the air, take 5 minutes. As a person who wasn't always big on communication, because I didn't always know how to also communicate how I felt, I've just honestly recently, I'm gonna say within the last 5 to 6 years of my life, understood how important that is to communicate how you feel, what you're feeling, what your wants and needs are. Because I was always afraid of the rejection piece. You know, I had insecurities in that area. But so now that I'm comfortable with who I am, I found it easier to be open. Right. But I know for me, if I love hard. If I'm in, I'm all in. If I say I'm with you, I'm with you. You get what I'm saying? Everybody is not like that. And it took experiences for me to understand that. And you can't play.
And you're that, and that's what I'm just trying to say. Like, that's the confusion where people don't get it. Cause like like you said, you love hard and you go all in when you all in, but you're still not very emotional. That's what I'm trying.
I can be. I'm not emotional 48 hours in. You get what I'm saying? But I've been in situations. I'm gonna tell you about. Okay, I did a dating app, right? And I met somebody, right? And it was cool. And you know how usually when somebody pursue you and and it's like they won't go away, it's something in the back of your mind that's like, something ain't right. But you eventually, for my case, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna reply. You get what I mean? I did. He seemed cool. I'm like, I should have just said my long time ago. Exactly. So we went out, hung out a couple of times. He was very clingy. I'm gonna say the first week it was questions after questions as far as about my whereabouts. You want to talk to me while I'm at work? Like, Rich, you know what I do. I can't talk on the phone. You get what I'm saying? I can't be on video. I can't do certain things. I work in healthcare. You get what I'm saying? And I work long hours. I work, I study. It became that. Then I would go, I would cook, I would do certain things. But I also had to take a step back and understand for myself, I'm also willing to give a lot in the beginning. And I backpedaled with that, with moving forward, because everybody's not deserving of everything that you're. I'm not going to give you everything immediately. I feel like the same way people make me earn it, you got to earn that too. I can't play the wifey role and you half-assing me. You feel me? So that I learned about myself, that I give too much too soon. So I don't give too much too soon and I don't regret it, only because I see who's worth it and who's not. But before, I felt like, damn, I gave too much too fast. I did this, I did that. Because it's like, if you give so much in the beginning, what are they trying to get to? You get what I'm saying? Like, you didn't already expose everything that you are. So I say that to say this, with that particular person, it was like instantly when we first met in person, went out on a date, it was like, okay, it was cool for what it was. It gave what it gave. Then it was like the next day I was introduced, people was in the video chat. Yeah, this is my girl. I was like, well, when that happened? We didn't discuss this. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
Sweet.
I swear. I swear. The family, you want to put me on video with your family, you want to put me on this with, and I was like, well, what the fuck is going on? So you know how like you try to do something nice, because you know I work all the time, I study, I'm in school, I have my family, my kids, my grandkids. So I was like, okay, if somebody expressed to me, you're not giving me your time. Okay, I'm gonna make some time for you. I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna cook dinner. At least that way I know you got me. I'm not going to do none of this that I got going on. I took a day off. Went over, cooked.
You took a what?
I took a day off.
A day off.
Yes.
Let that sink in. That's a lot. Because you don't never.
I'm going to tell you, and one thing before I continue with that, I always said it on a couple of shows. I don't think nobody paid attention. I'm very big on time. I've learned time is something you can't get back. You can give me anything. You can spend all of my, I can get my money back. You feel me? I can replace material shit. I can replace a meal. I can replace food. I can't replace my time. So if I give you my time, you know I'm trying, because anybody who knows me knows where my time goes. Right? So I felt like, okay, I'm gonna do this for you to show you that I'm interested, right? Because this is what you're saying is the problem. And I have to understand, and that's where I am in my life, where I'm comfortable and I'm at peace. Okay, if you want something, or if you want a relationship, it's a give and take. Right. So I feel like if I give you my time, that says a lot. But a lot of people don't even pay attention to your time that you put into it. Right? And like, you a busy man too, Rich. So if you give somebody your time, that's valuable, because that's money to be made. That's bills. That's your success. You feel me?
But see, that's
so that people don't understand when you take time away from your everyday life, you're taking time away from an extra step to get in where you want to be, because this is the person that you want to build it with. You get what I mean?
Even further than that, you only live one life. You only have one life to live. So it's like every second, every minute, people don't understand that nothing is promised. So every second, every minute is crucial. So
people don't get that. So if I give you my time and I say I'm gonna take off, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I went over, I cooked. The phone was in my face, family members. Right. And I was like, pause. You know, what are you doing? We still getting to know each other. You get what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Mind you, I told you how we met, all that other good stuff. These were like life lessons. And I'm like, you're doing a little too much, but he was overly clingy. I know I don't like clingy people, because I also like my space. I need to miss you. Those are qualities about myself that I know I need, you know, for success. Because I feel smothered. I feel like I can't breathe. Right. And I'm a claustrophobic. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So too much. And I'm like, and in the beginning, I didn't pay attention to it, because I'm like, okay, maybe he's just a little excited. Maybe he really like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, whatever. And it was like, you got to show people, yeah, she cooking, she came over, did this, did that. And I'm like, you telling my shit? Like, this is me and you. I didn't even tell my people, like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna do this. That sounds like some female stuff.
And so, it shows that he not used to having that treatment either. He's not used to somebody doing that for him either, if he's doing all that.
And I'm like, okay, you said you wanted to spend more time, you know, because or whatever. And I'm not thinking nothing of it, but to me, this is my way of showing you that I'm interested, right?
The time.
Right. That wasn't good enough. It was always more. He wanted more. I'm like, well, what you want to do? Eventually, I'm like, what you want to do? So it wasn't even about me spending time or wanting to build something. It was the fact that you just wanted somebody there because you needed a relationship. And I was like, okay. So you wasted my time. Because clearly it's not that you wanted something. You just didn't want to be by yourself and sleep alone. Why you gonna play that song?
Love and hate.
Did you really play that song? Stop. So I say that to say, like, the rebound thing is so, it's a thin line, because when you got somebody that's looking for something real, when you got somebody that's looking for somebody to fill a void, is a huge difference. But the expectations be up here. Where so the person who really wants something real, their expectations is not that it's low. It don't take much but genuine shit, and to pay attention. And I felt like I was constantly put in a position where I had to constantly give. I'm not going to give and push back my career and everything I worked hard for. You willing to lose all your stuff to lay up? You not the dude for me. You tripping, you bugging out. And that's what it was. So I was like, okay, cool. And then of course I had to hear about the baby mama, the kids and all that. It was even to the point the kids got on the phone. Yeah. Like, hi, can't wait to, and I was like, they like 6. Right. I was like, that's weird. And you know, I'm like a little brutally honest, and I'm like, that's a little weird. I'm still getting to know you, and I get it because I get to text the kids.
It was early in the game. It was how early would you talking? Like,
well, it was less than a month.
Damn.
Before, like I'm gonna say the second time we spent time together, I was on. You know how you just chilling, thinking you watching a movie, drinking a little wine, and then all of a sudden, my daughter said hi. I was like, "Whoa, pause. What? Who?" I said, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Hi, hey, girl." But I know I distance myself to a point where so I don't want to meet kids and stuff until we figure. Because I get attached to children. I love kids. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And my thing is, I don't give a fuck about you at the end of the day. If man, you break, I still want to see what's up with your kid. Exactly. That's how I am with people I deal with. Like that's what I'm saying. I like to build friendships too, because if you do have children, I get attached. Don't be throwing nothing in my face. And I feel like people want to throw stuff in your face because they want to will you in. And that's what them rebound people do. They want to will you in to get you stuck. And they think they can keep coming in and out your life. And that's one thing I read about in this, and it's kind of true. They want to go back to what they want. And then what they want don't want them, they want to come back over here to you because now they done latched on to something that's going to hold you. For me, that's the kids. Mostly. I don't care less about you. How the kids doing? You know, but what's going on with them? And people who seek rebounds, they use people for fulfillment. At the end of the day, and that's not fair. To the person who's not trying to fulfill anything, they really want something genuine. And it can be discouraging.
I think that with any relationship for both parties, male or female, there's gonna take some compromise.
Right.
It's gonna take compromise, but like you said, it takes time. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. You can't expect your mate to be where you want them to be or do what you want them to do, or you know, you gotta really just take your time and get to like understand the person and understand what works for what works for you and what works for them, so it can work for y'all both together. Like it takes time for that. You can't just like come in day one and expect the person to be like that. It ain't gonna happen.
Some people do.
Yeah. But then I'm gonna play.
You ever had somebody deal with you that makes their ex jealous?
They did what? They make their ex jealous. Mm-hmm. Oh well, if I knew about that, then I would definitely feed into it. I like to make them extra jealous.
I've been in that situation that I know of once. You ever see somebody ask me, you be like, right? Not on no shady stuff, but it's just like, it makes you look at yourself like, that's what you was dealing with?
Right.
Before me? I know it's patterns, not saying on no looks type stuff, but when you know the caliber of a person that you are, and then you see a pattern of their history, you ever look like it make you think, fuck. So when they get you right, they want to brag about you. Yeah. They want to put you out there to everybody. Look what I got. You get what I'm saying? It ain't to everybody. It's to one specific person.
People don't understand that. They don't understand that. Like that part right there is like having a private relationship. That's very
boundaries.
A lot of people to do. You know, they gotta have
boundaries. But people who seeking a rebound don't respect that because it ain't that they want you. They want the other person to make it jealous. And then next thing you know, you the little friend. Seeing with your little friend. And they make it a point to come back and tell you their ex saw a picture of you, saw y'all together, and now, I seen you with your little friend.
I want them to see me. I'm up.
Right. So me being me, I'm with you right now at the point in life that I am right now. I'm like, all right.
Because all that is
was I cute that day? Like, what was going on? I'm not bugging off of that, but then it's like doing a research on this, I'm looking like people do that to make other people really jealous. Yeah. Or to say or to throw you up in somebody's face. And I've been in that situation where I was used to make somebody jealous. Wow. Or, she work here. She do this. She do that. Whether the person was at a down point in their life and y'all not together, don't use me to make that person feel bad. Don't use me so you can get one up on this person to make them feel like they done lost out on something good to will them back in. Then when you will them back in, you try to be for me. And then when that don't work out, you trying to, let me tell you something. Don't flip that.
My mantra is that every dog has his day. So just because you up right now, don't mean you won't be down tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Right now, don't mean you won't be down tomorrow. So I don't never use that to like encourage anything in my relationship as far as who's up and who's down. Because you could be up today and God can humble you tomorrow. You gotta be really conscious of that.
That's true. I don't think people understand doing that. Even if it's you trying to make somebody jealous, you looking for a rebound, the effect it has on the other person. As a woman, I'm gonna only speak as a woman, not for myself. As a woman, I'm not trying to be shady, clarifying this. As a woman who date men, I'm gonna say it affects. I know a lot of damaged men who don't even understand they're rebounding, right? When they're hurt, I don't think they understand how it affects the other guy. Do you know how many men have been rebounded so many times? So when they meet somebody that's not really looking for a rebound, you still pay the consequences for the person who they was the rebound for?
Definitely. You always gonna pay the.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let me tell you. Rich. Listen. You ever know somebody has all the qualities that you look for, but because somebody else played them on some rebound type shit, they want to be so cautious with you.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, if you don't get over this, come on over. Stop playing with me. Don't test me. Everything about you is a test. And when they talk to you about their past, it's like, well, you ain't do all that with them. Why are you doing this with me? Mm-hmm. When you are open,
right, and you know what,
and ready to give what they need, but they don't even see it because they still bitter.
It comes down to you not working on you first. Before you jump into any kind of relationship, you need to work on you. Before you even think about jumping into any relationship, you need to work on you, because if you worked on you, you wouldn't even be thinking about the last relationship. You so in love with yourself and where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do that you attract that in your life. So the person that you naturally attract to and you naturally bring into your life is going to work out and it's going to be positive, because you won't have that rebound situation in your mind. Your mind is clear and free of anything that happened from your past relationships, all negativity, all stress. you gotta really like when you not in a relationship, you gotta take the time to focus on building yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit up.
I agree. I agree.
She agree with me?
I do. Why you always trying to make it seem like I disagree? I don't be see, I'm a challenger.
I know. No, I know. I'm joking.
I'm a challenger and I'm a debater. I like to get all sides of the spectrum. And I think that's where I get
what's the lady name?
Elvania.
Yeah.
But see, I'm a little different from her because Elvania a little biased too. She a little judgmental.
Yeah, Max was about to smack it.
She's very she could be very judgmental. I don't think I'm judgmental. I try to see I think like Tajah was saying earlier, sometimes I've heard it before, I can be too understanding. And I try not to be judgmental because I don't like being judged. And I do know there's always different sides of the spectrum or the situation. Whereas though it's the person who I'm talking to side, the person who they're talking about side, and then there's the truth. That's why I don't like gray areas, because it's easy to misinterpret or misconstrue what's actually going on. So I really come outside myself and try to actually place myself into the situation of the person to see their point of view. But in doing that, I notice a lot of people don't do that with me. You get what I mean? It's always like they only see their way. And it's kind of like, okay, put yourself in another person's shoes. You know, we always say that, put yourself in a person's shoes. And a lot of people can't do that. Whereas though I've developed a way of thinking where I think outside myself. What if I was this person? You get what I'm saying? Even when people tell me about, and I meet people, I try to think about where they are, you know, and they're like, and I ask questions about that. When I say communication is effective, and I think people don't understand that when getting to know somebody, even when dating, and to decipher, are you the rebound or are you potentially what this person is looking for?
Welcome back.
It takes it takes a level of welcome back to them. It takes a level of communication and the ability to be able to communicate. Anybody can talk, right? Everybody can't talk to understand or comprehend to decipher the conversation. Like, I really try to listen and give my input. And sometimes I'm learning to also decipher when not to give my input when it's not needed, but to make the decision for myself of, is this for me or is it not for me? And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong when meeting people, and people think, oh, I asked questions and they answered it. That's the communication. No, I need to know how you react to me. How do you disagree with me? How do you understand what I'm giving you about me? What questions do you ask of me so that I can understand that you're really looking for what I'm looking for? Anybody can tell you they want a relationship. I can say that all day long. It don't mean it.
Yeah.
It takes deep conversations, and that's why I think people don't understand conversation is eternal. Because when you conversate, you get to know a person mentally and how they think. It can be a turn on or a turn off. How you react to situations, how you reply to situations, how you maneuver through situations, how you move.
Because how they
it's
think.
Gonna tell me a lot.
Because how they think is how they act.
Period. Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you can't get it together, you know, soon as somebody, that's why they say soon as somebody open their mouth, you like, no, you cute and all, but going on over there. But then honestly, I don't even go on. People talk about me all day long, and people think I don't have a type. I'm really about who I can connect with. So if I talk to you and you can stimulate me here, and we can have a different dynamic conversation, or I'm all the way turned on and intrigued because I want to know more. But if it's somebody that's always one-dimensional, I'm like, I'm gonna call you when I want to talk about it because you ain't got nothing else going on.
Right.
Sometimes I want to debate. Sometimes I want to see if you can educate me on a topic further than what I know. I feel like you're supposed to every day is a learning experience. I want to get something from who I potentially going to be with or my partner, rather than me just sitting here just trying to decipher if you still involved with your ex. If we can't talk to get to know how each other think and move and rationalize things, situations, I don't want no parts of it.
Right. I mean, I agree. I feel like a lot of people will say I don't have a type either, just because of that simple fact right there. Like, I don't just go based off of like certain characteristics. I want to see how well we can have a conversation. Like, I know, here's Amy, she would know. But like, I tell Amy all the time, when I talk to certain people, I pay attention to like if they do it, like you said, if they can disagree with me. If you can disagree with me and make me see a different point of view and make me be like, oh wait, let me think a little bit, then I'm gonna keep wanting to talk to you, because at the end of the day, I don't want to just have one opinion on everything. Like, I want to be able to see multiple, like, different opinions. I want to be able to understand a different perspective. That's a better word for it. I want to understand different perspectives. So if you can't give me a different perspective, especially when it is a deep topic, and you're just like, I completely agree with everything you said, I'm going to feel like something off.
Yeah, you don't agree with me all the time.
Right, no way.
People understand this. When I say I'm confrontational, everybody be like, oh, this isn't. No, I'm not looking for conflict. There's a difference in being confrontational and being ignorant, right? Because confrontational means we're going to talk about an issue. I'm going to hear your side. You're going to hear my side. We're going to compromise, or we're going to come to some type of understanding, right?
Right.
That's confrontation. Confrontation is confronting.
Right.
So even in a relationship, if there's a problem, I'm going to confront you. Excuse me, hello. I'm feeling some type of way here. You get what I mean? That's me expressing myself. But to a person who can communicate or be confronted, they want to take it as though she nagging, she always tripping, I don't want that. I want the person that's going to hear me out. And even if I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong, but tell me why I'm wrong. Let me understand.
Understand.
Now I'm understanding how you move, and I don't need to think it like that if you move like this in the future. It's all about communication and how do we argue? How do we regroup?
I got a question for the fellas.
Oh my God!
Oh Lord!
You said the dude.
Guys.
All right, so is it a turn on if a man could put you in your place in a respectable way?
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not a man. I'm not Jude. I'm not a man in my past life. But of course, that's why I think it's important to I guess we're going in the aspect of dating. I think it's important to see how somebody handles you, whether it's good or bad. Honestly, like, if I'm in disagreement with somebody that I'm getting to know, or we're into something and we have our disagreement, how you handle me in that moment says a lot, because I know me. You get what I mean? And I'm upfront about me right in the very beginning. I think the second conversation, I'm telling you about, look, my attitude will go spicy.
That's
you know what I mean? It's up to you how it's gonna go.
That's my first conversation.
When it's a person who, if I'm like, listen, this is an issue, they hear me out, and then if they stay even, but if you give me a whole lot and then I shut down, I'm like, I'm gonna talk to you later. That's where I am in my goals, is that I'm not gonna give you that side. It takes a little bit. Now, if you bring out her, I'm not gonna fuck with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if you handle me in a way that you're trying to understand why I felt how I felt, and then it's like, okay, this is why X, Y, and Z. I may not agree with the X, Y, and Z at the time because I'm in my feelings. You don't know that because I'm a woman. but you're not with me. You get what I'm saying? It's like, all right, well, when you get it together, call me, baby, we're gonna talk about it. I'm big on that. How a person handles me in a disagreement. And then it's like, my thing is, once we disagree, I forgive, you forgive, or we come to an understanding, that's in the past. I'm not bringing it up no more. But if you bring it up again, I'm going to ask you, what's your real problem? Because that wasn't it. Because that was the past. We resolved that. The past shouldn't keep coming up.
Ever.
And then if you want to compare how I handled the situation to how your ex or somebody you was talking to before me handled it, I ain't them. I'm matter of fact, if I'm mad at you at 12 o'clock and I talked to you at 3 o'clock and we had a good conversation, the 12 o'clock conversation
is
don't even exist no more.
That's what it does it. Completely.
If I didn't forgive you for that, how we get to a good place? Or we need to figure something out. And you can't just keep picking and choosing when you're going to move forward and bring some shit up. Either it's over or it's not. You move forward. And I'm big on seeing how somebody communicates because I have a strong personality. I do. And I understand that.
I know me personally, like, I know I'm very opinionated. So, exactly. I'm very opinionated. So, what you trying to say?
You're right.
I'm very opinionated. So when you come to me and tell me something, and I tell you my opinion, but then you automatically just like, you're wrong, but you can't prove yourself, I'm gonna definitely look at you sideways, and I'm probably not gonna communicate no more because you're not giving me nothing to communicate with. Because if you're not telling me how I'm wrong or how my opinion can be slightly off, I would say, then you're not helping me grow as a person. You're not helping me understand you as an individual. So there's nothing for me to listen to.
Do you think it's safe to say patience is important?
Yeah, I need to learn some of that.
I think patience comes with understanding. I think patience is also to not being taken for granted when a person has patience with you or you have patience with somebody else. Because some people can take patience of, okay, I'm going to be patient and figure this out. Maybe I just need to handle this situation a little bit delicately. Some people can manipulate that, right? And I think that's also a way to decipher if you're a rebound, like the patience level a person has with you. And I think with patience come to the pace of going at your own pace, not the other person. Sometimes we get caught up in the other person's pace because it may be exciting, it may feel good, but it's not the pace that we want. You get it? So it's kind of like, I think going at a pace that's good for you and understanding it's okay to slow down a little bit. Because sometimes people looking for the rebound, like I said, in 48, 72 hours, y'all go together. Or y'all in this exclusive, it's me and this person. And you stuck like, I'm still trying to figure out your last name.
Right, like you still trying to figure out what in the world, and they like, oh yeah, that's mine right there. Like what's
and you like,
what you talking about?
And I'm quick. This is my best comeback. When we talk about that, what happened? I missed that one. And people laugh, but I be dead serious. I don't recall this conversation where we made this official. Where
the situation, you got to be straightforward. Right.
Yeah. I don't think people. I just want to touch on this. Y'all know I'm big on mental health, right?
Yes.
I think when people who aren't over someone jump into something with somebody who may be open, no walls up, completely open, vulnerable, willing to be vulnerable, but they trust that this person, whatever they're telling them, is the truth, correct? I feel like it can play on that person's mental, because when you realize, okay, this person fed me X, Y, and Z, I believed it. Because sometimes the person looking for the rebound is back and forth between who they want and you, right? Meaning myself included too, because I've been her. It can play a part in a person's mental, way as though you look at every relationship like, is this person just using me because they want to be with this person, or it could be a situation where as though some people go into depression. Yeah. Depending on how long it took for you to get over your shit. I mean, not the cut, so to speak, but it may have taken you a while to get over your shit, and then you meet somebody else, you done took on their stuff. Yeah. Where you was completely open to whatever comes, but you just got taken advantage of because you was to fill a void. And I think sometimes we need to be mindful of, are we really ready? And if somebody expresses that what they're ready for and what they're looking for and what they're showing, if that's not where you are, let that go and let them find who is going to meet them there, because now you done took them 18 steps back. Absolutely. And then you have some people that go into a depressed state of mind. They don't want to date. They don't want to do X, Y, and Z. So it's like your actions have an effect on the next person. And I think a lot of times we get so self-consumed in our own shit that we don't realize what we do and our actions actually affects the next person. Yep. I don't like that. I read that and I literally, it was symbolic of a lot. I've witnessed it among friends. I've been through it in my past, which is another way. That's a whole nother show. Why I am who I am, why I am like I am, and why I don't settle for what I settle for. Right. But is it growth? Yes. Do I need to let go of some things? Probably. But at the end of the day, it helps me. Let me clarify. I'm very open, but I don't give a whole lot in the beginning like I used to. I used to give all and play white feet off the brief. I don't. I'm a friend. We cool. Right. And I play that position. You gotta earn all of the other stuff, because I know what I want. And if you can't give me anything, one thing that I want, it's a problem. Yeah. Because I give you anything that you want, especially if I'm giving you my freaking time. Because my time is I can't waste none of that. For real. Period. So I feel like when people go back and forth and they don't really have a clue what they want, I think we ignore a lot of signs. And I'm going to say myself included in that week. We ignore a lot of signs of people who aren't ready for what we're ready for. We ignore a lot of the signs that are back and forth, and they want you to be who they was with. Let's just say that. I can't be another person by who I am. I ain't going to fit the bill of this person. And that's men and women, right? Tend to look for who they was with before. If that's who you love and they get everything that you like, please fight for that person, love, and leave me the fuck alone. Go fight for your person. But you can't look for me and that person. Don't look. You're not gonna get it. And I tell anybody who dealt with me, please don't look for me and the next person you with, because you ain't gonna find me and the next person. As far as I'm concerned, I'm one of a kind, and I will hope the next person feel like they one of a kind. Yeah. But I know for a fact I'm not competing with I'm not in competition with nobody. That the only person I'm in competition with is the person reflection that look back at me when I look in the mirror. All right. I'm trying now. I gotta remember what that just made me think about. Remember what it was.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm thinking, hold on. Because you just said you can't look for me in the next person. So I
Right.
completely agree. What the word? I have completely agree. Like I believe myself. I'm one of a kind. So it's like, oh, what was I just? Oh my gosh, my brain. It's not working right now.
You one of a kind.
I'm one of a kind. What was I
So have you
thinking?
been in a situation where you felt like either somebody was looking to replace you or somebody was looking for you to replace
I
somebody
feel,
else?
I feel like people will deal with me and look for what they had before, but realize I'm different and possibly slightly better. Oh, that's where I was going. Okay. I feel like people, you know how people get mad and be like, they ain't even nothing like me. Or whatever, like, like their ex dealer or whoever, and they're like, oh, that person ain't even like me, and this, that, and the third. Well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're better for them than you were. I like that.
Right.
Maybe they were better for you. They were better for that person than you were. You weren't what they were looking for. Yeah, you're an amazing person, but you weren't what they needed in life. Girl,
Right.
you look like you were not
Okay,
what
going out. I'm listening.
like you were
I'm
not
gonna
what
let you take the next 7 minutes and you just go.
oh
What's your
for
thought?
real. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, my thoughts like they be too much. But yeah, I don't feel like you should. I completely agree. You shouldn't look for that person. You shouldn't look for what you had before in the next person. Because if what you were looking for before, if what you were looking for now was in that last person, of course you should definitely fight for that relationship then, because that's what you want to be with. Because you're not going to find that continuously. And if you find that, then dang, that's something. Because you just like that. Then no matter what, it's like, because especially nowadays, people keep up with their exes on social media. Not saying I'm one of those people, but people keep up with their exes on social media. So it's like if they look, they look like me, they dress like me, they act like me, they're gonna be like, for all that, they could have just been with me. And then you're gonna have that issue of, well, let me see if she good or if he good. And the next thing you know, that goes that cycle of, like you said, that's a rebound. Hello, I don't know who you are, but hello. Oh, sorry, I got distracted by my laugh. But it's like, now I just lost my train of thought again. But it's like you said, like you need to fight for what you just had then, because at the end of the day, it's like that's what you were looking for, and that's not fair to that person that you're just like, well, can you do this because my last person? Because in the back of your head, you're like, my last person could do that.
So do you think I'm just trying to get where I think you're going at.
Right, because
Do
I'm
you think people try to use you as being symbolic of what they want or what they thought they had in the next person, or try to push? Matter of fact, let me rephrase the question. Have
okay.
you ever felt like a person may be with you, but the expectations of what they want from you are based on a person from their past?
Yeah, I can definitely say that. I definitely know that a person that I've dealt with, they saw me as a great individual. They knew I was a great individual. But all the things that they wanted out of me was based on somebody that they already knew completely. But I couldn't meet all those expectations. And I wasn't about to either, because that wasn't who I was. But because I wanted to be what they needed me to be, I lost myself trying to be that. Really. I tried to be that. And so
do you walk away or do you try to prove? Because I think in those instances,
at that point,
and
I was
even
trying
honestly, I'm not even speaking from a woman's standpoint. I see this in a lot of men. Do you feel like people, I'm gonna say people because I'm gonna speak on men and women, feel like you have to equate to what a person's expectations are of what they want. So you try to reinvent yourself and not be who you are.
Exactly. Like, Yeah, definitely. So it's like, people will sit there and be like, these are my standards. This is what I want. This is what I expect. And because you think, well, this person is what I expect and they meet my standards, I got to meet theirs too. But sometimes that's just not the case. Like, just because they meet your standards don't mean that you meet theirs, and that's perfectly fine. They just need to go find who meets their standards. And you need to go look to see if you meet somebody else's standards the same way that they meet yours. Like, it has to be a equal thing at the end of the day, because like I said, you can lose yourself very easily thinking, okay, well, what they're what I expect. Now let me be what they expect. You don't want to lose yourself in the process, because yourself is what got them to like you in the first place. But if you're not, but as they're getting to know you and you can't meet that no more, then go on your merry way. Because you, like you said with the mental health thing, you don't want to lose yourself in the mix of it. You don't want to get into that depression thinking, well, okay, I like I said, they're what I want them to be, but I want to be what they want me to be instead of what you already are. And that's not fair.
That is so fact. That is so fact. There's somebody out there right now that likes you for who you are, no matter who you are, what you look like. You have 3 eyebrows. There's somebody out there that likes somebody with
I know you back.
somebody out. Like somebody, what I'm saying is, it's somebody out there for you, no matter who you are, what you do.
Right.
Not going on.
How many people is on Earth? It's like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's billions of people on this earth, and you telling me you can't find somebody where y'all just equally connect?
that's what I'm saying. Because you're forcing it. If you're forcing it to happen, then it's never going to happen.
Never gonna happen.
Actually, then it's going to happen that way. And sometimes a lot of people don't have that patience. Talk about that patience. They don't have that patience to work on themselves and wait for somebody to naturally come in their life.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I feel like a lot of people, they go through like that midlife crisis at that point where they just like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I just keep trying and trying and trying. But I just don't know what it is. Like, what am I doing so wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Right. You're just trying to do something that you're incapable of doing. And that's being, like mommy said, somebody else. You can't be somebody else. You can only be yourself.
And somebody loves you for who you are, where you are right now. You wake up in the morning with crust in your eyes. You got boogers in your nose. Somebody loves you.
Somebody loves you.
And that's on period.
Okay.
That is the end of this show of Rebounds and dating. But I got a feeling we're going to pick up on a little bit on this, because I think next week is cheating.
Yes, why do people cheat?
Why do people cheat? And we're going to take it back to the beginning. My BFF Tiff going to be here.
Bring some brothers up in here too.
Please do. If they want to come.
Where your friends at?
I need some men to come in on this one.
Yeah.
I already know. Y'all know I try to be biased. Yeah, I try to be biased. Look, listen. You know, I got my girl coming up here. T gonna be here. Tiff gonna be here. I'm gonna try to put it out there to see if I can get some men to all join this this live broadcast next week. Huh?
Bring at least one X on.
Oh, one X. I got you. Period. I'm gonna work on that.
She can do that. She can do that. Definitely, she can do that.
That conversation will be spicy.
I'm not doing that.
Look, we ain't get too personal though. But I know we're gonna talk about like why do people cheat and the effects of the person that's been cheated on and all of those. We're gonna dig deep into that.
Yeah,
I want to try to get some men on that one. That is one thing that I do want to do. I do want to include some men on this series. I thank you, Rich, for joining in on this conversation, making it very, very, very interesting for the male perspective. I try to be non-biased when it comes to the men, because I know a lot of men come to me. They are kind of reluctant to come in on You know how y'all do, Rich.
Not
they want me to speak for them, and then I get cussed out by the women, which is fine. I ain't worrying about y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100, and I'm gonna stand in my truth. I'm gonna stand in what I believe is right. We wrong, you know.
You can only be you. You can only be you.
I can only be me, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be truthful on where I feel like we go wrong, where they go wrong, whatever. I'm still always gonna support women, but I can't negate the fact that men go through things, they feel things, and we do them dirty sometimes too. I'm gonna always speak on that and how we can come to a close to make it better, to unify as people in relationships, personal, business, whatever it may be. But y'all asked for it this month. We got relationships next week. Why do people cheat? How do you recover? Do you recover? All that good stuff. And I got a feeling this month y'all gonna be all in my business, but whatever. I definitely know Tiff is in next week. I think Rich put me to the task to get some men on here. So let me make some posts. Again, y'all can follow me, Kazual Konvo Coco on Instagram as well as Facebook. Goofy, is that your name on Instagram?
__GOOFYY _ on IG.
And also on Facebook, Tajah. You can also follow Ham Radio on IG, and you can follow hamradio.org. We will see you guys next Wednesday, 8 o'clock on the dot. And why